It's a beautiful day in the Lord. How's it going, everyone? I'm Colin. I got a wonderful 2005 Chevrolet Tahoe. As you know, you've probably seen a video or two. Great truck. I really like it, and maintaining it, and bought it with about 197,000 miles on it. And I would say today, but it's been an ongoing thing of oil pressure loss. Wonderful. And the best part is I have I have a gauge on the dash that shows me what it is. I would just, wouldn't that be great if there was just no gauges anymore? You wouldn't know, so there wouldn't be a problem. But anyway, it's dropping down to like 20 psi now, and man, I've done a lot to this truck already in just like 200,000 mile maintenance and stuff. Just a couple months ago, I took a 13-hour day with four of my friends and ripped apart the entire truck and like bled all the brakes, did all pads, rotors. We dropped the cross member down to pull the front axle out, and this is all-wheel drive, so it has a lot less electrical connectors. So we dropped the front axle out, redid the boots on the CV axles, rebuilt the front axle, pulled the whole thing apart. It was leaking and needed new seals. There was like 200,000 mile oil in it with like chunks of metal, so pulled all that apart, dropped the oil pan, scraped all the sludge out of the motor, cleaned up the pickup tube O-rim. So I've addressed a good part of this already, and not to mention some of the other stuff on the truck too. Like I've done the intake manifold gaskets, and there's no rear main seal leak. We've done the transfer case fluid. Like I've really gone through this truck well, and like I feel like I know it. So I'm not just kind of like watching a YouTube video and getting an idea like, oh, everyone says that the oil pumps go bad on these, must be the oil pump. But the thing is, this is how I'm diagnosing it. When I did the oil pan and the pickup tube O-ring and the oil pan gasket, and it was just like, it was amazing because it got rid of so many leaks. But the thing is, after that, my oil pressure went back up to about 39 hot, like with the fresh oil change. And now it's dropped back down to like consistently about 1,700 miles through an oil change. It'll drop to about 20 at idle hot, and that's just no bueno. But when I start it cold, it's 39. So this, I've looked into it more, and it's the cam retaining plate. Really? Timing cut after all that? So I'm guessing it was that the whole time. But the good thing is I got to address everything and like visually clean all the sludge out of my motor, which was probably the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life. And oh my gosh, the pickup tube, the little screen on the bottom. We used like 3 cans of like Berryman B12 Chem Tool and just like knocked the cap off the bottle. It was like, psh. But anyway, we got that knocked out. Like truck has no more leaks. Like 4-wheel drive's amazing. Oh yeah, dude, we did suspension, upper control arms, greased the wheel hubs, 200,000 miles on everything. This thing runs like a clock. It's really unbelievable. Like, you don't need to spend $40,000 on a car. Seriously, I got this thing for $4,200, and it's been like nothing but fun and learning how to like work on cars with my friends. It's like, God is so good in the way he like brings people together, and just to have smiles. And I'm like, I've never been miserable, and just address things as they come, and just like, I don't know. Anyway, so today is not really going to be a how-to video, but I just want to like bring some more light to the situation, because I feel like a lot of the videos I've seen are just addressing one thing or the other. Like, oh, it's your freaking oil pump. It's the pickup tube O-ring. It's this. It's that. Oh no, it's the cam retaining plate. Oh no, it's this. It's like, well, like I've addressed after today, I will have addressed everything. So I can tell you firsthand, like, what is solving the issue based off what problems. So, if you start your car, you got oil pressure, you drive it, and then it heats up and your oil pressure starts dropping, you are in the same boat as me. I've done the oil pan gasket, I've done the pickup tube O-ring, I've cleaned out the pickup tube, I have, like, cleaned all the ports. I took the valve covers off, valve cover gasket, and, like, cleaned all the push rods, everything. I figured there was a blockage there. I've tried all the oil additives. I've tried ATF. I've tried everything, and the oil pressure's still dropping. And I know it's not getting oil up there because I start it, and it'll tick. And then it'll go away as the lifters, pulse up or fill with oil because they're hydraulic. So it's just kind of narrowed down the issue. Like, okay, I'm not getting oil to the top of the motor, but man, that thing, like, it runs amazing. It's a screaming V8, that's for sure, and it feels amazing. So Sorry if this is a long video, but I really wanted to give some dialogue beforehand, just like I said, to bring some light to the subject. Like, I feel like a lot of people could be going through the same thing, and like I said, after today, well, I've done everything, so I'll be able to tell you. But so the last thing you want to hear is like, oh, your cam bearings are worn, your cam bearings are shot, your crankshaft bearings, like, oh, your piston ring, like, whatever it might be. And like, if you take care of the car and you're doing your oil changes, you drop the oil pan and clean the skludge out, like, if you take good care of your car, it's going to keep running. So don't just start blaming the huge things like that. If you take care of your car, it's okay. And just because the oil pan's leaking doesn't mean that your freaking crank blew up, okay? Come on. So, any hoot, I'm going to rip the timing cover off and all that good stuff and throw a new gasket on there. I'm going to pull the front plate of the oil pump off, just the front plate, because it's hard to get the oil pan or the oil pump out. I really don't think it's a faulty part, but I do want to pull the oil plate off and just check the gears. And I do want to pull the what would that part be called, the little piston spring loaded thing, the regulator, the oil pressure regulator. So I'm gonna put 100,000 shim in there. YouTube videos, if you ever want to learn something on your car, you just watch the video with the oldest person narrating it. And if the guy is old, so if anyone's old and telling you how to work on your car, you should probably listen to them. They got a lot of wisdom. And then they're going to pass it to the young generation, which is us. So that way I can translate it for you guys. So, without further ado, I'm going to go to the auto parts store, get some oil, pick up some parts, some gaskets, and it's not really going to be a how-to video, but I'm just going to pull it apart, and then I'll do some talking at the end. But hopefully this just brings some light to the situation for everyone, and feel free to comment or whatever. I'm not really a YouTube guy. I just want to help the scene a little bit, because I feel like the subject needs more attention. So, peace out, guys. Jesus loves you, and I'll be back with more goodies. Just leaving it in tow haul here. Try to get some pressure up. Obviously, I got an airbag light on. Other than that, I'm just going to try to hold it right nice and square on the gauge here. Let's see if I turn tow haul off and let the RPM down. She is falling off. And we're going to fix that. Here's my mom's Yukon XL cold start, for example. This thing has a grip of miles on it, and I'm just using it to get to the auto parts store while I let the engine cool down. This got more miles than me, 242, 388. Wow. And look at that, healthy as ever. So that is cold start. As you can see, it poked 50 there for a second. But yeah, actually, yeah, it's like 45 right now, so that's what I'm after. And this is a 2003 Yukon XL, same thing with a 5.3. And my truck over there, it's 2005 Tahoe, same motor, but I think that's a Gen 4 5.3, so some different stuff. But anyway, that's an example of a very high mileage car. This thing's on its third transmission, and it is running like a clock, as you would say. So here we are in front of the car. As you can see, I already did a beautiful oil pan gasket there. I think the thing is holding on nice and strong. Well, it appears that I found my coolant leak, because as soon as I pulled the clamp on this, I barely touch it and it's spraying out. So I've had a small coolant leak, so I'll probably just replace this little hose right here while I'm in here. This thing's pretty well retired, as you can see. So anyway, I'm gonna yank these things off. I'm just gonna make a mess and wash it. This is what it's looking like so far. So far so good. The biggest holdup was getting that freaking gear puller thing on there. That was kind of a pain in the butt. But this is pretty wide open. This is bumper level here, and I have plenty of access to get in here. So I'm just finishing getting the timing cover bolts out. That one right there, you're gonna need to get a ratcheting wrench like that and just squeeze in there, pop it loose, and then you should be able to back it out with the impact. But as you can see here, kind of excited to do the the front main seal too. It's like one last tiny little leak that can be taken care of. Whoop. So I mean, I'm doing this one-handed filming with my phone, and it's not that bad. So, and then sensor on the bottom. Like I said, the bolt comes out right here. I just threaded it back in. That one right there. And then this whole unit goes to the side like that. You can see the little little pin that comes out. And then the oil pan bolts are the same as the timing cover bolts, so don't worry about getting those mixed up. And there we have it. 240,000 miles. Looks like OEM, GM OEM. Oop, let me wipe that off. OEM gaskets. Oh, that's much better. And see, who's got a bit of a, I don't know how much play it's supposed to have, but I know there's play built into it, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull those off, and hopefully this works, because the timing cover plate that I got has the countersunk Torx bolts, but this is an 05, so I'm thinking it's a Gen 4. We'll see. And here's the culprit. Let's have a look. Ooh, I mean, that looks like it's leaking. Let's see the gasket. Nothing left. I just realized I didn't mark my timing. Uh-oh. I just took the thing off. Uh-oh. Oopsies. Okay. Yep, moving on. Well, I'm gonna leave the cam stock because I don't want to do lifters and a tune and all that. So if anyone knows a stock cam I can just put in here and get a little more oomph out of the Tahoe, then let me know. Otherwise, onwards. And I find out these are the flat bolts, not the countersunk ones. Wonderful. Update. We're doing a timing chain and crank gear. Not the lower one because I don't want to pull it off, and that one looks okay. And I'm pulling the oil pump out. I ended up dropping the bolt into the pan, and I used a magnet to fish it over, and then another magnet to pick it out. It wasn't a big deal. My car's on an angle too, facing back, so it didn't go back down in there. But it just dropped, and we fished it out. It was no big deal. I already have a new O-ring on here, but I'm probably going to use the one that comes with the milling pump. But that's the 295 that everyone gets, so probably use that one. And then I'm measuring out a washer right now to put in the bypass valve right now. Okay, all cleaned up. Let's put the cam plate on. 18 foot-pounds as far as I know, and then the cam bolts. We're gonna put a new gear and a chain on. Got the surfaces cleaned up as much as I can. Rag stuffed it in there, and yeah, we'll go from there. There we go. Oop, let me get wide angle. There we go. Looking good. Still same amount of slack.
Gotta get that. Oh, okay.
Seems about normal. King's coming, guys. We'll check in here. All the goodies on. Have to take the gears off the pump to get the pickup tube back on. There's that piece I ground out so I can get the mounting bracket flipped over and use the bolt on that side. And then I'm gonna put the pump gears on, get the cover plate on, water pump, and we're rocking. All nipped up. Still looks like it has 200,000 miles. Okay. Okay. That started really fast. Used oil. Nice. Spec. But here I am, driving to make it to the car wash in time. Got some coolant in, got some goodies in. And it's looking exactly like my mom's Yukon with 240K or whatever's on it. Yep, 240. Got the heater on to cycle the new coolant in there, but man, this is looking good. Guys, still I got that stinking airbag light. Ugh. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, I have a minute while I'm at work to go over a couple things because I want to do it while it's still fresh in my mind. Everything's back together, and I pinned the truck for like 10 minutes straight and then checked the oil pressure, and it was like 42. So pretty spectacular OEM spec praise the Lord, it's done. But I wrote a couple things down, and I just wanted to go over it. So the cam plate was bad. If you replace it, get the newer one with the Torx head bolts, torque them down 18 foot-pounds or whatever, and those ones are flush against the plate. I guess Melling and Felpro and Mahle, M-A-H-L-E, Mahle, they made like an updated one, so I guess they updated it for some whatever reason, but use that one just because I know it's like an updated one. That's what everyone else is using. Use that, it works. Throw new cam gear and a plate on there. It's like 45 bucks for the timing kit. Just pick it up while you're at the store. Everybody has it. Throw it on there, just for peace of mind too. So especially with high mileage like me. Conditioning the old oil pump. I replaced the oil pump because you have to take the plate off to access the gears, and then you have more play to get it off the oil pump. It really was not that bad. It was not that bad. I'm telling you, it was not that bad. Do I look like a car mechanic? I'm not. It wasn't bad at all. So take the gears off, check out the gears. If the gears have play like in and out, you know, then you know oil's getting past it and not creating pressure. So I just decided to spend 130 bucks, put a pump in. So what you want to do, take that bolt out, put a magnet on the bottom of the tray if you have like a bigger magnet, or I actually didn't even have one, I dropped the bolt. So just back the bolt out, let it fall down. Don't waste your entire day trying to catch that bolt and fish it out with pliers. Just keep working it with like a pick or a magnet. You'll be able to break it loose with a standard 10 mil wrench. It's really not that bad. I'm telling you, it's not that bad. My car was on a slope too. It was supposed to go into the oil pan. I backed out the nut, it fell down, and I got a magnet and I chased it up the oil pan, and then I got another magnet and just picked it out. It was like, sorry I don't have it on video, but it wasn't bad. Then you can wiggle the pump out. Use the O-ring that comes with the pump. It was a little different than the one I got in the kit, so I guess Melling has a specific one, but Melling makes that updated pump. There's other videos that cover that too, like the gears are different diameters and stuff, so you can't just put the new gears in from the Melling pump into your GM1. Don't do that. But remember, like the pump mounting is aluminum, the gears are steel, the plate's steel, so aluminum's going to be that wear point in there. So if anything, high mileage motor stuff is getting through the oil pump pickup, it's going to leave scores in there and stuff. So take out your gears, inspect them, look at them, know if your pump is good or not. I saw some scratching on mine and a couple grooves in it. I'm like, I'm here, I'm just going to put a new one in. But before you put the new one in, there's a tab on the oil pump that keeps you from spinning that one nut around. So that way the bolt can only go in that heavily inconvenient spot. So stuff some rags in there, get a Dremel, 40 bucks for a Dremel, cut-off wheel, stuff some rags in there. All you have to do is cut that tab a little bit. Sorry, got a phone call. So Dremel that tab, cut it. It's no big deal. You just slice it a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch, and you'll be able to flip the oil pickup tube mounting plate around and use the bolt on the other side of the pump. And you can just hold the bolt, thread it in, done. It's the easiest thing ever. I did this in an afternoon. I dropped the bolt in the oil pan, like worst case scenario, and it was like not a big deal at all. Just fish it out with the magnet. Let the thing dry. Even if you want to hold a magnet on the oil pan, that way when the bolt drops, it just stays on the magnet. Big deal. Like, it's not bad. It's really not bad. So Dremel that tab out. You'll be able to flip the thing around, pick up a Dremel. Anyone can do it. I work on cars, trucks, stereos, bikes. I'm not like a car mechanic, and I was able to get it figured. So yeah, throw a new chain on while you're in there. Just knock everything out, and yeah, you should be good to go. And after I did the oil change, the thing went up to like 60 on cold start. So, and then pinning it around the block, like I said, it went to like 42, 41, 42 at idle. So awesome stuff. Knock it out, guys. And just remember, like, your car's got high miles, it's dumping oil pressure. Don't blame the important stuff. Blame like oil pickup tube O-ring. Drop your oil pan, clean the sludge out, throw a new pump on there. Just handle everything in one go. Even if you drop the oil pan and the front cover at the same time, it's just gonna make everything way easier. But just do the work. Just do the work. Get it done. Your car will be like brand new oil pressure again. Trust me, it takes forever to wear out. I got hundreds of thousands of miles. And the best part is, when I pin it and get up to 6,000 RPM, there is no ticking at all. The thing is like rock solid, no ticking at all, just whoop, all the way up there. So do it, get it done, leave me a comment. I got notifications on the phone. I'm just here to help. I'm not a YouTube guy or anything. Like I said, just bring more light to this situation. Anyway,
Jesus loves you guys a lot, and God is good, and it is such a beautiful day here in California. So praise His name. See you guys.